Hey there, everybody who's catching this on the replay. I'm so glad that somebody pointed this out to you and you decided to join me. I'm here today to talk about 5 steps to better Facebook security. I know everybody is really concerned about everything they're reading in the news and everywhere about the Facebook data scandal, the Facebook data breach. I don't really like the word breach when we're referring to this because it's not like they just kind of went in and stole info. People might feel that way, but they didn't break in. It wasn't a data breach. So I don't like that terminology, and I'm hearing that around a lot. But today I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do in your own profile to improve your Facebook security. And at the end of this, I'm going to give you a way to get this in a downloadable tip sheet so that you can print this out, you can share it with people if you want. Sorry about that. You can share it with people. You can give it to whoever might need a little help. So in order to do this, I just need to make one quick little change over here because I don't have any helpers today to do this. So I'm just going to copy and paste one quick little thing here. And then we're going to get going. So first of all, tell me how you're feeling about this. Tell me how you're feeling about what's going on. Show me an emoji here that tells me what you're thinking. Is this, are you okay with this? Is this something you kind of just can't believe is happening? Did you think Facebook was above all this? Tell me what you're thinking. Give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, an angry face if you're really angry, or wow if you're really surprised by all of this, because quite honestly, I'm surprised that it's blown up this much. I'm not surprised that it's happened. I have been warning you I've been in business for 7 years. I've been warning people on Facebook for at least 5 of those 7 years that you got to stop doing this stuff and that you got to change your privacy settings. So today I'm going to walk you through the 5 ways that you can improve your Facebook security. And I'm going to be honest, you're not going to like some of them. Some of these, when I explain to you how it's going to affect the way you use Facebook every day, you are not going to do it. You are going to choose to give your data away to people like Cambridge Analytica, to political parties, to diaper manufacturers. You are going to make that choice by not turning this stuff off. And that's a choice you can make. But as Brittany's saying here in the comments, Facebook has never been free. It is not free. You pay for this. You pay for this service with your data. So don't be surprised that some people out there have been smart enough to go in and pull the data out of Facebook and figure out how to manipulate you. My thing is, I don't think this is really all that different than the way they used to do things maybe 30, 40 years ago. They would hire psychologists to come in and work with the agencies who were running, not Facebook campaigns, who were running political campaigns. And those psychologists would analyze different groups of people and say, here's what you need to say to, this group of people in downtown Halifax to get them to vote for you. And here's what you need to say to the people in Yarmouth to get them to vote for you. And here's what you need to say to moms. And here's what you need to say to dads. And here's what you need to say to university students. This kind of analyzing has been around for as long as psychology has been around. And we can't be surprised that as technology grows, the tools that they have access to have also grown. And so it's the same game that's always been played, but now the tools are better. And like it or not, you have played right into their hands. All right, so tell me how you're feeling about this. Give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down, an angry face, and let's get right into it. If you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you how to get this in a PDF download that you can print out. So don't be too worried about trying to follow along or take notes. At the end of this, you can get the download right in your Facebook inbox, and then you'll have it to share with whoever you need to. So the first thing is, you gotta use a secure password. Don't be putting in password as your password everywhere. I know this seems redundant, and it seems like everybody's already told you this, but you've got to use a secure password. So at the very least, try and pick a word that you're going to remember and mix it up with letters, numbers, symbols, capitals. For example, if your word is going to be password, then use a capital P, make your S's dollar signs, and make your R a 4. So make it PA $$ WO4D. At least that's a little bit more complicated for somebody to figure out, but pick a much more obscure word than password, please, please. And then I'd want you to not use your Facebook password where you would put in any other password. So if you choose PA $$ for your password for Facebook, don't use that for your banking, don't use it for your email, don't use it for your front door or your Alexa or any of that stuff. Pick something unique for Facebook. All right, so that's number one. Number two, you want to turn your Facebook friends list to either friends only or private. There is no reason why any stranger needs to be able to see who all your friends are. This is what opens you up to cloning. Cloning is not the same as hacking. It doesn't, you know, when you get that message from somebody and says, hey, be friends with Kendra. Kendra just joined. Hey, Kendra. So you get a message from Kendra and you think, huh, I already am friends with Kendra. I thought, I wonder what happened. Oh, well, I'll friend her because I know her. What you need to do if you get a request like that is double check that you are already friends with Kendra. And chances are Kendra has been cloned. It's not hacking, it's cloning. And what happens is these cloners, they go through and they look for people whose friends lists are all public, and they make a profile that looks just like you. Anybody can download your cover photo and your profile photo and put in your name and make it look like it's you. And then they go through your friends list because they can see it without being friends, and they try to refriend all of those people. And the ones that actually accept, then they start messages with them to say, hey, I need money, or have you checked out this? And it's phishing, and it's spam, and it's bad links, and it's malware, and it's all kinds of bad stuff. So to cut this down, all you have to do is make sure that your friends list is set to private or friends only. That way, total strangers finding you cannot see who that is, and you're less susceptible, probably cannot be cloned. So to do that, I'm just going to run through the steps real quick, but it's in this download I'm going to give you at the end. You go to your profile, which is the little, your name up in the top right corner of the screen on a desktop. Click on Friends. After you open that up, you're on your profile, you're going to click on Friends. And then just under your cover photo, you're going to see right beside a button that says Find Friends, you're going to see a little pencil icon. You click on the pencil icon, choose Edit Privacy, and change that sucker to something other than public. That's as simple as it is. Change that. You don't want that to be public. You want that to be either private or friends only. And I've been telling people this for years, but you've got to shut this stuff down. All right, that's tip number 2. So tip number 1, have a good freaking password. Tip number 2, change your friends list to friends only. And similar to tip number 2, okay, first of all, who knows that they've already done that? Do you know if you've already done that? Or are you over there checking it now and you're going, holy cow, I didn't realize I needed to do that? Let me know. Because maybe all my tips are redundant. I don't think they are, but maybe you're going to tell me all my tips are redundant. All right, tip number 3, very similar to tip number 2. You're going to change all of your page likes to private or friends only. You know, when you go along and you like Twerp Communications, and you like Coca-Cola, and you like Pornhub, well, you need to make all that stuff private or friends only. Now, because that's part of the data that they're mining when they get in and they get at your profile. They're mining all the things that you like so that they can use that to manipulate you. Now, if you turn your page likes, all of these things, to private or friends only, here's what's going to happen. Here's one of those things you're not going to like. Suddenly, anytime you enter a like and share contest, which don't get me started on those, they're quite illegal in Facebook terms, but anytime you do a like and share and they say like our page to be entered, well, if you've got this set private, they can't see you. Admins don't get to see everybody who has liked their page. So by being private, safe, and secure, you are limiting the types of contests that you are actually being entered in. They're still going to ask you to like their page. They don't know that you've got your privacy set. They don't even know that you've liked the page. So it's catch-22. It's a choice. You got to choose one or the other. Are you going to be safe, secure, and private, or are you going to try and win a free coffee? All right. So to do that, same steps as for turning your friends list private. You click on your profile, go to more this time. So just under your cover photo, you're going to see a more button. You're going to click on more, choose likes. It's going to open up everything you've ever liked. You might want to go through it and delete some. Maybe there's things that aren't relevant anymore. But what you really want to do is click on that pencil icon again over on the right, just beside where it says add likes. And then you're going to edit the privacy of your likes. You're going to make them either private or you're going to make it friends only. So that, again, these apps that come in and get public data from Facebook, they're not going to have access to all this stuff about you. All right, so that's tip number 3. How are we doing? Are you following along, trying to do it while I'm talking you through it? Or are you taking notes? Just let me know if I'm not being clear about this stuff. But at the end, okay, Kendra says yours doesn't show likes. Are you sure it's not just down a little further? It wasn't one of the first ones that I saw on mine. So check, it should be there. And are you on your phone or are you on a desktop? Because the instructions I have are really for desktop users. I think most people still use Facebook on their desktop a lot of the time, and sometimes these settings are easier to get to on a computer as opposed to on your phone. And I don't want to take the time to sort of go see it on my phone right now. But let me know. It has everything else but likes, she says. Are you already on that page, Kendra, by any chance? If you scroll down just below your cover photo, are you seeing a list of things that you've liked? So if you're already on that page, maybe it's not in that list right there. So just check that, see if that's there. And if not, I'll help you find it afterwards, okay? All right, so number 4, here's a big one. You need to remove old apps that you've given permission to access your Facebook data. We do it all the time. We log in to do different contests. We log in to do all kinds of things. We use Facebook to log into Hootsuite. We use Facebook to log into a news site. We use it to log into all kinds of things. But then sometimes we stop using those things. So it's a good idea to go through and clean those out to get there. And remember, I'm going to give you this tip sheet at the end, so you can write it down if you want, but come back and I'll give you the tip sheet at the end. I'll tell you how to get it. So you're going to go to, not to your profile this time, but you're looking up in the top right of your screen on desktop for a little down arrow. And you're clicking on the down arrow, and near the bottom of that list, you might have to scroll depending on how your screen is set up. Near the bottom of that list, you're going to see settings. And so you want to click on the settings choice. Okay, you might need to scroll down a bit. And then you're going to way over on the left-hand side. They like to make you move around a lot to make it a little harder to find everything, I think. So after you click on settings, and you can do that on your phone as well, then you're going to find the one that says apps. Now on desktop, it's in a left-hand menu. On your phone, you should be able to just scroll down and find apps. Okay, and you're going to have probably on desktop, you're going to have a whole bunch of apps show up first, and then 4 options. And on your phone, you're probably just going to have a list of 4 options. So we're going to look at the one that says logged in with Facebook. So these are programs where you say, hey, Hootsuite, I don't want to remember a password combination, so let me just log in with Facebook. So these are all kinds of apps that you have given permission to log in with Facebook. They could be contests, they could be social media management things, they could be news sites, they could be contests, they could be all kinds of different things. So I want you to make sure you see all of them. There might be a see more list if you've done lots of them. And I want you to take the time sometime to go through all of these. Remove anything you don't recognize, remove anything you no longer use or you just don't want it to have access to your data anymore. And then a second step, you need to go back through all of the ones that are legit, all of the ones that you actually want to use still and still want to have access to your data. So for example, Hootsuite. I'm a Hootsuite ambassador. I use Hootsuite all the time to schedule posts. Hootsuite needs to have access to my Facebook in that way in order to help me manage what I'm doing. So I can't delete that one. If you use Buffer, you can't delete Buffer, and you have to allow it to have those permissions. But Hootsuite and Buffer are legit. They might be mining some of your data. I'm not going to say they're not. But they're legit, and you don't have to worry about your safety so much with those ones. All right, so anything you don't recognize or no longer use, you remove. Anything you're not sure about, you want to double check what level of permission you have assigned to it. So there should be a little button there where you can check that. Be careful if you change the settings because some of those things will no longer work the way they're supposed to. If you change the settings for Hootsuite or Twitter, if Twitter's in there, or Buffer, Sprout Social, anything that you use for social media management, and you go in and change those settings, they're not going to post for you anymore because you've removed the permission to do that kind of stuff. So be careful which ones you change settings for. All right. If it's a news site of some kind, you can probably change the settings for that because National Post doesn't need to be able to post to my Facebook. It doesn't need to be able to see all kinds of stuff. I just need to be able to log in and read the news. So think about it really carefully when you're doing that one. That's number 4. And the most important one, number 5. We're almost done here. Number 5 is on that same screen. It's just below the ones that say logged in with Facebook. And you're looking at the one that says friends, apps friends use, something like that. I didn't write down the exact terminology here. Apps friends use, or data shared by friends, something like that. So just to recap, you're going to the top arrow on your Facebook desktop screen. On a mobile phone, you're looking for that hamburger menu, we call it. It's the 3 lines, one on top of each other. People think it looks like a hamburger. Thanks, Kendra. Apps others use. That's the term I was looking for. So you're going to your hamburger or your down menu. You're choosing settings down the list at the bottom. And then you're choosing apps. On a desktop, you're way over on the left-hand side to find the word apps. On mobile, you're just scrolling down to find apps. And then you're looking for apps others use. You want to open that up and check out what kind of data you have enabled your friends to share with shady apps that they use. So when I went in here this morning to double check this, I had everything unchecked already. That setting's been around for a couple of years. That setting's been around, I think, since 2014. And I know I went around and told people they need to uncheck all that stuff way back then. But if you go in there and that stuff's all checked, then you're one of the 50 million people type that somebody did a personality quiz and that company went in and took their data and said, oh, look, Kendra's data is all wide open. I'm going to steal her data too. So they stole Kendra's data because Kendra had those all checked to allow her friends to share that data. Yeah, apps others use is what it's, apps others use. That's the one we're looking at, Krista. So you want to uncheck all that. You don't need your friends to be sharing your data. All right, this is the one that has really caused all of this hullabaloo. All right, this is the one that's caused the hullabaloo. So what happened was Cambridge Analytica set up a personality quiz of some kind. I forget what it was called. People logged in with Facebook, did the quiz. They got paid to do the quiz. And Cambridge Analytica went in and grabbed all those 270,000 user profiles, grabbed their data, but also grabbed all of the data of people who didn't have all those settings turned off. And so it ended up being around 50 million people in the US that they were able to grab this data for. And again, I'm going to repeat, I don't know that this is really any different than when they used to just hire a psychologist to analyze people and say, this is how we're going to get this group to vote for us. The game is the same. The tools have changed. So if you had those checked, you were allowing it. It was kind of your own fault for not keeping up with all the changes and making sure that you were on top of all the privacy changes as they happened. I try to let people know when something big like that happens, but you know, you don't always listen to me. I try, but sometimes you make the choice. So back to the one about the apps that log in, you delete those apps, and some of those, if you've deleted an app for a contest that you've entered, maybe you're no longer eligible for that contest. You change the privacy setting on your likes. You're not going to win very many prizes anymore. So it's a choice. Are you going to give them your data, or do you want your privacy? All right, so I told you that I would give you all of this written out for you, and all you need to do is comment below. Doesn't matter if you're live or if you're watching the replay. The replay people get this too. I want everybody to have these 5 tips because I think it's really important that you take control of your Facebook privacy and security. So if I've got it set up right, and if it's not, I'll make sure that you get it. All you have to do is comment on this video with the word tips, and you should get the tip sheet in your Facebook Messenger pretty much instantly. Give it a few minutes to work through, but it should come up within a couple of minutes. So you just need to comment the word tips. Thanks, Kendra. Let me know if it comes through while I'm talking. And I've got one bonus tip here for you. Well, and I already kind of talked about it, but you know all of those contests that you see out there, which Game of Thrones character are you? What type of Disney movie would your life be? What Sesame Street character are you? Which Muppet are you? That's the one I've been seeing lately. Which Muppet are you? Those are the moles. That's how they're getting in there and getting your data, because you are giving them access to your Facebook. So either they're after your data or they're looking to hack, one or the other. I don't think, unless you're doing a quiz for somebody like me, I'm innocent, I swear. Unless you're doing a quiz for somebody like me who is a consultant who's trying to give you information, then chances are those name tests is a big one. BuzzFeed, all of those companies, they're mining your data by getting you to fill these things out. So just stop filling them out. Stop filling them out. And if you do and you go, oh crap, I gave them permission to do this. Okay, well you now have the steps to go back and delete permission afterwards. Just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you can't undo it. So if you do one of those tests for nametest.com, find out what Disney princess you are, then go through these steps and remove that app afterwards in your settings. All right, so there's your 5 tips and a bonus. Kendra says she's not got hers yet. Maybe when I turn this off, it will trigger everything to happen. But if you comment tips, I will make sure that you get your tip sheet by PDF in your Facebook instant messenger, in your Facebook Messenger inbox. And if you have any questions or some of these steps didn't work for you, couldn't find something, Kendra, I'm going to get back to you on yours. Just leave me a comment here on this video and I will help. And if you think that there's somebody else in your life that needs to see this, to go through these steps, maybe a senior citizen, because we know that they don't always know all the ins and outs about social media. Mom, I'm talking to you. You might want to follow through on these steps when you watch this video. Just share this video and tell people to watch it, and they can get the tips and they can follow through. So thank you for interacting. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for testing this out with me. And I hope that you find these tips useful. And I really hope that you have a very safe day. Thanks. I will see you back here soon.